Originally, my idea for clothes had been kind of anti-display.
Making things like that are unusual.
Rick Owens, often hailed as the Dark Prince of Fashion, has earned a reputation for himself as one of the industry's most strange designers. Known for his controversial and avant-garde clothing, he's designed pieces ranging from beautiful draped dresses all the way to human backpacks. Not only we will take an in-depth look at his strangest clothing, but by the end of the video, you'll recognize the genius behind his designs. Rick Owens was born on November 18, 1961 in a small Californian town. His conservative father taught him about art, literature, and philosophy, but was very strict on his artistic consumption, allowing only classical music. This led Rick to rebel and develop an interest in punk rock bands like the Ramones and the Stooges. At 21, he attended trade school to learn pattern making and clothing construction, leading to jobs replicating designer clothing.
I would have to do patterns all day long for inexpensive companies that would bring me like a Versace jacket, and then I would have to copy it.
He would start his brand in 1994 and have his first runway show sponsored by Vogue in 2001. Collection after collection, Rick would perfect his designs and expand globally. For the next part of the video, I'm going to show you what I believe are Rick's strangest and unique pieces. In 5th place, we have the inflatable boots. Made of discarded tires, these are a hell to walk in. Even in a Vogue article by Christian Allaire, he recalls that by wearing the boots, you are essentially working for them. Despite being impractical and weird, there is not much to say about this piece. In 4th place, we have the duvet-like dress. According to Rick, this piece is about grace and fertility, due to the large white sac representing a baby bump. To be honest with you, I don't really see the resemblance, but each to their own, I guess. Next on the list, we have the human hair balls. This one is supposed to imitate the hair evaporating, or in his words,
It's very much that idea of our molecules mixing with the world's molecules, mixing with the molecules throughout all eternity.
the concept of having someone else's hair wrapped around your head is pretty strange, cause how are the models able to see? Moving on, we have the human backpack. I actually find this pretty cool, and it turns out I'm not the only one.
I like the arms out model. That's what I would go for.
Apart from it being heavily criticized by the media, I'm actually impressed by how casual the models were able to carry themselves. Finally, in 1st place, we have the Rick Owens wax figure. Located in his Paris store, it has managed to scare off a couple of customers.
Has this wax figure of him there. Bro, I had no idea. Bro, I'm next to the wax figure and I look over and I'm like, hi.
Despite its sinister and strange look, it actually has an even more weird thing about it. Hidden behind the blanket, it features a constant stream of fake urine. If you don't believe me, you should go to Paris. Before going on to the next part of the video, I'd like to present to you some honorable mentions like the Rick head, the Rick chair, and how can we forget the Rick table. On a more serious note, one thing that always fascinated me about Rick was his ability to turn all of his rage and suffering into fuel to start his own brand and express himself freely. Although his dad was very strict with him and didn't accept his work and sexuality, Rick would acknowledge the help of his father on an interview.
I wonder where I would be without that rage. It served an amazing purpose. If I had been respected, treated well, treated gently, what would I have to spark me?
On the topic of his brand, I believe one of the most significant collections that really solidified and built upon his aesthetic is the Fall-Winter 2008 show. This collection encapsulates many of the terms frequently used to describe his work, such as futurism with sharp angles and symmetrical cuts, or a more post-apocalyptic style featuring large oversized coats that resemble armor in certain aspects. The collection also incorporates some goth and punk elements hinted by the dramatic silhouettes and the monochromatic palette. Through these elements, Rick managed to stand out with his brand and create a lifestyle associated with it. This quote from one of his interviews really captures why his designs are so popular. "I wanted to react against bigotry. We can see this online, we can see judgment. In essence, Rick designs his clothes in such a provocative and unusual manner to create a world where people don't need to conform to a certain standard. Another interesting thing about his designs is his inspiration from architecture. This is a concept that I found about thanks to Carson Croning, so make sure to check his channel. To better illustrate this concept, let's look at the dress I've mentioned before. When we compare its silhouette to that of a building, you can instantly notice the similarities between the two. This unique approach of mixing architectural elements into fashion is really what caught the attentions of so many people.